If you call a woman African woman, no go gree. She go say, I believe.
Conversation with Fela. Now, with regards to lady, I mean, with our family kind of Amazon-like women, it would surprise anyone that Fela would record a song like Lady, compose a song like Lady. And of course, I was saying, I mean, where does this come from? You know, and his answer was something like, you know, people should be able to take a joke now. They should understand. It was like more like satire, something that was the conversation, something around that kind of skepticism and comedic view of the role of women. But you know, thinking about it, and with my relationship with Fela, it's always good to know where his head is at that particular time, because I think, like most men generally, but particularly African men, there's a kind of schizophrenic understanding of the role of men. Um, Most people who are rational and who are not mentally challenged know that nobody is superior to anybody. Every human being is a very important human being, and there should be mutual respect between the genders, between the generations, between the classes, between the religions. There should be mutual respect. So it made me kind of he makes me understand men even better, because he is an intellectual himself and he has an intellectual understanding of humanity. He's well read. His relationship with his mother and the other women in his family, certainly he didn't treat me like somebody who will be cooking for some man all the time. You know, you know, they understand that women, in fact, are probably better endowed than men, since they're the ones who bring the men into the world, you know. So he has a huge, I mean, you can see that from the relationship with his mother, and certainly with me. And anytime I visited, I think I was the only person who was allowed to sit in the chair, you know, that special chair he had. I was the only one, because the first day I did it, his guys and people around him was, no, that's Fela's chair. You can't sit there. And he came there, let me see. That's, you know, like, that's my girl. So our men, the Ransome-Kuti men, made us all feel very proud to be human beings, and they supported us. But in their interactions with other women who didn't come from the same background and who live in a society where they're not properly supported, you know, there's no social welfare, the education system does not teach you to be self-sufficient, to be human being first before you think of yourself as a man or woman. Um, and the culture, the religion keeps telling you that you have this role, you are the head, you are the tail. You know, there's a lot of confusion in the African society. So when men like Fela meet such women who are taught to be dependent on men, I think there's a lot of contradiction, you know. And men are weak, you know, and will succumb to the wiles of any young women that comes around them. So I can see why they have this dilemma. They want to respect women. They respect the women in their own orbit and areas of influence, but they also have to deal with these other women. So I think women can change a lot of this by first ensuring that they themselves are properly knowledgeable, not just educated. I'm not talking of book knowledge now. I'm talking of understanding of the world, the evolution of history, how man came to where he is. Once you understand that, there's no way you will see other human beings as lower than you and one person being dependent on the other. It's a mutual dependency. We have different roles, sure, but it's not a role that is more subservient or the other one more superior to the other person. So, and the second thing they must do Is stop. Um, how shall I put? In terms of the role of women, I think women should take responsibility. We keep blaming the men, but let's take responsibility because we're the ones who bring the men into the world. We're the ones who train them and give them the values that they need at the very earliest, pivotal, most critical time of their lives when they're learning who it is, what it is to be human. And so we have to take responsibility for what we've created. If the men are misbehaving, then we haven't done a good job. And also, if we take that responsibility to ensure that we train our children right, when we bring them, first of all, we choose the partner that we're going to bring the children into the world carefully so that they're not people who also are a little, how shall I say, are primitive in their understanding of the world. They're people who are progressive, they're people who are educated, they're people who understand and respect the humanity in everyone, not just the men, but the children and other people who think differently or believe differently to us. That there's, first of all, that mutual understanding that we're all human, we're all part of one human race, and what affects one affects another. If women take responsibility for making sure our children are well equipped with that knowledge so that they don't go into the world believing that they're either superior or inferior to anybody. Give them that self-confidence, that self-esteem to be who they were supposed to be, to live a life of joy and understanding and able to have the capacity to contribute their own quota to the development of our world. And that's number one. Number two, we must stop seeing men as meal tickets. When you see a man, don't see dollar, don't see naira, don't see euro or yen. See a partner. Let's, both of us, both male and female, begin to partner together. And that lies more, I think, with the women. Because if you're the kind of woman that you're so dependent on the man, he's the one who's buying your bra and your everything, and he's the economic powerhouse in your home. It's very difficult to stand up and have a voice to guide him, to criticize him productively, because anybody who is part of a group where they are always, oh, you are the most wonderful, baba me, without you, I will not, I will not survive. You're the only person in this world, and that relationship immediately creates a monster in the other person. You are pandering to the worst nature of every human being, because every human being, male or female, when they're placed in that position, they will do exactly the same thing. Women who are the wealthier in relationships, if they have not formed the partnership where there's that mutual respect, will also be uh, how shall I say, looking down on the partner. They will also be treating the partner in a more subservient way. Whereas there should be that balance in any relationship. One person is putting one thing on the other, whether it's money, whether it is the nurturing of the children, whether whatever capacity that makes that partnership whole, it should be based on mutual respect. But when the woman is earning, she has her own earning power. We all know, say, without money, nothing can be. Every woman should have the capacity to bring income, to be financially independent, and bring some money into the household that will make her independent. Even the man is the one that's earning millions and billions. If you have enough for yourself, he knows he can't treat you anyhow. And that relationship now breeds human respect. It nurtures love, because now when you are talking to each other, you're also wanting to learn from each other. You're bringing something into the system. You're creating something more whole, more beneficial to the entire family, and more importantly, you set the pace for the next generation. Because as your children are watching you, that relationship will dictate how they will live their lives. If a man comes from a home where the man is the head and is bullying everybody, telling everybody what to do, and the woman is the one, she can't take any decision. If the children ask her, then they create a distortion in that child's life. So it's really important for us women. That's why I don't speak often publicly and say women are the ones who need to do something. But I think it's time for women to begin to ask ourselves, why is it that the change is not coming as fast as we want? It's because we're not taking responsibility. We bring children into the world, let's take responsibility for how they understand the world and how they become whole human beings. Because a human being who's looking down on another human being and disrespecting them is damaged. So let us help our men and women to find their best persons, to bring out the best angels in them, and to be able to contribute joyfully, productively, and respectfully with dignity to our human experiment.